So we are doing chapter-wise summary and we are on the concluding chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, that is Moksha Sanyasa Yoga, liberation from, through renunciation. Liberation from what? From four things. Moha, Shoka, Bhaya, Krodha. So I have a choice whether I want to live with these four or whether I want to get liberated. And the process or the method is renunciation. So the chapter started with Arjun's two questions. What is the distinction between Tyaga and Sannyasa? And the second question, please give us Sattva, Rajas, Tamas in detail of Tyaga, that is renunciation. So Lord distinguished that Tyaga means first you start with by practicing renouncing insistence, resistance on what is happening inside and outside us. The next time I must be careful to at least identify one thing when agitation happens, suffering happens, sorrow happens, that what am I insisting on and what am I resisting to. I want this only to happen because karma phala data is God. Bhagavan says you cannot decide it. You have only adhikar on karma. So wherever this resistance happens to what is happening outside me and inside me, there will be problem. And whenever there will be insistence on how things should be happening outside and inside, there will be problem to us. So that is Tyaga to start off. And then Bhagavan said Sannyasa means renunciation of Kamya Karma, like dislikes. And then focusing on Shravan Manan Nididhyasanam, that is Vividisha Sannyas. First one is Karma Sannyas. And the third one is Vidvat Sannyas, where one let go the ego, the separate self, the identification because of which I think that I am body, mind, intellect. And then Bhagavan gives Sattva, Rajas, Tamas of Tyaga, that is, do your day-to-day actions, duties joyously, without insistence, resistance on the results, without like dislikes, and without the karta bhav that I am doing this, being an instrument. This is the core message of the 18th chapter in terms of renunciation. And as Arjun asked in detail, Pruthak, give me in detail, Bhagavan added 6 more topics along with Tyaga for Sattva, Rajas, Tamas analysis. So we saw knowledge. I must have clear knowledge about what is my purpose, what is this world, who am I. Then Sattva, Rajas, Tamas of Karta, there must not be ego. Then Sattva, Rajas, Tamas of action, which Bhagavan took in detail. Then Sattva, Rajas, Tamas of buddhi. Then I must be able to distinguish between jnanam and buddhi, knowledge and intelligence. Knowledge is what aspect, intelligence is how aspect, how can I apply it. And then dhriti, what we saw, persistence in whatever we are doing with a higher noble goal. And now we are on a very interesting topic which we started last time, that is a sukham. And then we saw a couple of examples. So today we will see the Sattva, Rajas, Tamas of Sukham. And Bhagavan is going to give one very interesting point, that happiness is a product of practice. That I must underline and write it down. Like, there used to be in school, homework, write down 100 times, write down 20 times, one time, same line, same thing I write, 1, 2, 3. So this must be written down. In our day-to-day life, happiness is a practice, Bhagavan is going to say now. And then give Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Abhyasat, Bhagavan is going to say. So whatever we practice, we become like that. Suppose we practice anger, we become angry very easily. Suppose we practice depression, we become depressed very easily. We don't have to find out reason. Reason finds out us. And Bhagavan is going to say that abhyasat, you should do practice of being happy. So we will see some very important siddhanta of happiness. Last time we took some portion of Maitri Brahmana Upanishad, which appears in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which discusses about happiness. So we'll see some siddhantas before we start the sattva rajas tamas of happiness. So what are the happiness siddhantas? These are very, very important because suppose we ask ourselves quietly sitting on a Sunday that why I was born, why I went to school, why I went to college, why I got married, why I'm doing job, why I'm earning, I want power, fame, money, security, travel, why I want to travel, why I want different kind of experiences, why what is there in my bucket list, only one single denominator answer will come, happiness. Happiness. So what is first Siddhanta? Number one Siddhanta, I love myself the most. When I say to other person, I love you, that means I love myself when I am with you. And when I say that I don't like you, that means I don't like myself when I am with you. So self-love is the core of all things what we do. When we say I love object, I say I love this situation. Basically what we are meaning is I love myself. I cannot love something which gives me sorrow. Whether it is person, object, situation, I will let go. I will run away from it. These are the two things which is the definition of moksha, atyantik dukkha nivrutti and paramananda prapti. Consciously, unconsciously, only two things we are doing. We want to run away from what is going to give us sorrow, any situation, person, object. And some people say, no, I don't want to be with this person for a long time. Why? I get bored. This person is boring, this person is very rude, this person is very arrogant, because whatever the person says, I feel bad about it. Third, I always want to give happiness to myself. Even though I say, no, I am sacrificing for children, I am sacrificing for husband, in that sacrifice I am having joy. Because I love myself the most. We saw this last time in Laddu logic. I eat laddu. Why? Because I love it. Why I love it? Because I want to give happiness to myself. So I eat laddu. So I want to give happiness to myself. So I eat laddu, which I love. And that's the reason I call that I love it. So love and happiness, we have to see the equation how it goes. My real nature is happiness. So from birth to death, actually we are seeking happiness. Seeking happiness, desire for happiness, I have to underline this, is not a cultivated desire. It is a natural desire. Why? Because my nature is happiness. I know what is happiness. I have experienced it. It is my Atma. It is my nature. And that's the reason whatever happens outside, I compare with that. Say I was happy, I was unhappy. Because that is in comparison with my nature. And what is that nature of happiness? Quiet, joy, peace. It is not dancing. It is not ha ha hoo. It is that quietude, joy, joyous quietude state. Tranquility of mind is definition of happiness. So I superimpose happiness because it is my nature on situation, object, person. Like I superimpose happiness on non-veg. And I say non-veg is so interesting, so beautiful, so tasty. And today is Sunday. Those people who are non-vegetarians, Sunday means non-veg. And those who are vegetarians, no, my happiness is filter coffee, masala dosa, sambar bhat, tahir sadam. That is my happiness. So I superimpose on it. This person I like, this person I don't like. I have superimposed like dislikes on this person. That person is as it is. God says that all are my children, all things are created by me only. All have come from earth, it will go on the top layer of the earth. So now the moment we experience any kind of happiness from the world, we must remember to detach from the object and attach to the source of happiness. From where this happiness is coming, not from the object, not from this person, not from this situation, event, place, thing. It is coming from my own self. This is the key of Sukham. The more I remember this, the more I will not superimpose happiness, and this will help us to detach from the world. Because mind normally migrates towards where it thinks, assumes that there is happiness. Unknowingly, knowingly, consciously, unconsciously. So, what are the practices? We need not beg or be dependent for my happiness from the world. Relationships are not giving me happiness. Objects are not giving me happiness. Situations are not giving me happiness. So I need not beg from it, because beggars of happiness cannot be givers of happiness. Only if I have money, I can give it to others. If I have clothes, I can give other people clothes. So before marriage, actually, they match this kundali. We must also check happiness quotient and get married. Because who wants to get married to an unhappy, frustrated, irritated, depressed person? And why we get married or why we do job or business? Because we want to be more happy. The person is constantly begging for happiness, ki thoda appreciation de do, thoda happiness de do, thoda. Then that person will always be demanding and begging from us, not giving. One who is happy alone is capable of giving happiness to others. So, what is the example of it? Simple example you can check. The moment we come across, even though it is yours or not yours, a small child of 2 to 3 year old. Normally, what we'll do, suppose we see a child, normally we will smile and try to touch and try to take the child, because the child is a bundle of happiness. If those people who are not able to smile also and be in the presence of the child and be happy, the miserable people. So happiness is independent, it is contactless. What is the proof that happiness is contactless? Because when we go to deep sleep, there is so much of peace. I have no contact with the world, no person, no contact with my body, mind, intellect. I am not husband, wife. I am not having any designation. I don't have a house. I don't have money. I don't have any relationships. No power, no fame, no contact. But still, people say I can give up anything in life, but I cannot give up sleep, because sleep is so peaceful. So I can be happy without any contact with the world, because that is my own nature. So what are final conclusions of this happiness Siddhanta? Number one, keep the object of love as self. This is what is the main message of Maitri Brahmana Upanishad Prakaran in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. That focus now and tell yourself 100 times from morning to evening that happiness is located in my own self, real self. So my focus should shift from the world to happiness and not in a person or a thing or a relationship. Once the mind turns inwards and tastes, like when we are nearing a perfume factory, before we enter the perfume factory, only we'll start getting the aroma. So some taste we get. Then the mind will automatically go towards the self, the inner self, where it is, and will stay there and long for more happiness, quietude from the Atma. And what is the most important statement there? Atma va are drashtavya. You seek yourself, don't seek anything else, because that is where the happiness is there and that is what you want. How? Shrotavyo mantavyo nididhyasitvaha. By Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasanam. Of what? Of self. Because I know that this Atma is there, but what is the nature of Atma? That only scriptures can give. Know the self, seek the self, experience the self, and realize that I am this Satchit infinite bliss and real and be happy. What a beautiful, inspiring goal what our scriptures gives. So what is the mantra? Enjoy the world. Enjoy the changing world, but seek the changeless. If I am seeking from deeper level the world which is going to change, there will be disappointment. Because I want permanent relationship, permanent happiness, permanent house, permanent everything I want. I don't want to die. I want to be permanent. So the way is know the self, and for knowing the self, entire Bhagavad Gita is there. First six chapters are basically on self-inquiry. The next six chapters in Bhagavad Gita is about God, who is God. And the last six chapter is a relationship between these two. Tatvamasi. So Bhagavan starts with this, that Shrudu me Bharatarshava. You listen now carefully. What? Abhyasat. When you do abhyas of this happiness, then yatra dukkhanta, dukkha will completely go in our day-to-day life itself. And then with that peaceful, happy mind, then I will focus on the self and abide in it and realize. And there are three types of sukha. Sukham tvidani trividham. So that I'm going to explain. But before that, we will just spend this 2 minutes on how to do abhyas. More practice, more enjoyment outside, more happiness within. So enjoyment comes from outside, joy comes from within. And how it is possible? By practice. So what is the practice Bhagavan is going to recommend here when he is giving three types of sukha? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. The main point what Bhagavan is saying is that you now shift from tamasic sukha to rajasic sukha, then rajasic to sattvic. That must be the process. That's the reason this topic is enumerated in detail. Patanjali Sutra, Yoga Sutra explains Abhyasat beautifully. What is the meaning of Abhyasat? Four pointers are given. Dirgha Kala. Any Abhyas is done Dirgha Kala. I know pranayam. Anulom Vilom. I know Anulom Vilom. Then I know exercise. I know Shirsasana also I know. But how much time I'm doing? No, sometimes in 3-4 months I do for 2 minutes. Walking, exercise. I know. How much you're doing? No, I do for 5 minutes. No, actually I don't do, but generally I go to market and come back. That is exercise. Dirgha Kala. Continuous. They say that every day, suppose I do anything for 8 hours, I will become master in it. Satkara, with heart and devotion. There must be love for it. There must be my constant thinking of it. That day I had gone to one gymkhana. I was having a walk there. One lady was there. She was having, this, what do you call, what you hear, the earphones. And then when I was passing through, she was singing loudly singing. And what she was singing, Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Da Pa. All Alankar she was singing and she was having round. So maybe she would have gone to a class and now this is a practice. So constantly that heart is there to practice. Nirantara, without a break. Like some people join and then sponsor gymkhanas. They pay money and then go only because they take lot of breaks. In studies also lot of breaks. In Shravan also lot of break. In Manan also lot of break. In meditation also lot of break. Everything is break only. Dirgha Bhumi till it becomes my second nature. Like today we see, cricket, IPL going on. So much of practice they do that when the match comes, net practice, that the shot becomes natural. It becomes my second nature. I don't have to put effort. So from effort to effortlessness, that is where the process must be. Till that much time I must practice that any. So now I have to listen carefully what Gurudev says. that anything, any input, any stimuli coming from the five senses from outside, when it comes inside, it must create happiness. That is the tuning I must do. Because I do not have control over the stimuli, but I have control over how I am going to interpret that stimuli. It must create happiness for me, well-being for everybody, and it should be inspiring to everyone when they listen to. So how I interpret, and Gurudev says that how do I tune? That tuning of the mind is explained in detail in Self-Unfoldment book. Tuning of the mind. So that is becoming the second nature. I become as I practice. If I practice anger, anger will come just like that. Sadness, sadness will come just the moment any input come, I will become sad because I am going to interpret. No, no, that is right, but I remember this didn't work. Sadness. And there are some people, whatever comes inside, they create happiness because that is how they have tuned their mind. Practices. What are the practices? Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Pratyahar, Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. This comes in Yoga Sutra. So Patanjali says that this all comes with practice, not by reading, not by hearting, not by chanting only that I know this. And what are the other practices for in Vedanta Japa? Meditation, observation of breath, thoughts, feelings. And what will happen? Dukkhantam cha nigajjati. In that space, there is end of pain and suffering. One goes beyond all sorrows. Why? Because false identification with BMI is understood at experiential level. When I sit quietly, I realize that I am not the body, mind, intellect, but I am that Atma whose nature is pure existence, consciousness, infinite bliss. Experiential level. Aparokshanubhuti. So this is the introduction by Lord, and then we will see three happinesses. What is sattvic happiness? Tat sukham satvikam. That happiness is sattvic. Which one? Yatat yat tat agre visham. So this is very interesting point because exactly opposite Bhagavan is going to tell about Rajasic. That which appears difficult, Bhagavan says visham, poison in the beginning. But that in the later on stage, it gives happiness and peace. So we saw in self-unfoldment, when we learn the basic text, we saw there are two paths, Prayas and Shreyas. Prayas is pleasant in the beginning and Shreyas is good path and pleasant, and Prayas is pleasant path. So Bhagavan is saying here the same thing, that happiness which appears in the beginning as poison, difficult to do, but later on it will give me well-being. What are those? What are the difficult thing to do? Exercise daily is difficult to do. Eating I will do, 100 kilometers I will travel for one vada, but exercise properly. Walking is not an exercise. Walking is only an activity. Who says? I don't say. That Rujuta Divekar, who is very famous, nutritionist, she says. Healthy eating, not very easy. Japa, where the mind is focused on the word. Meditation, selfless action, Shravan Manan on Shastra, not very easy. Very difficult thing is that one person who has lived one's life completely only can do proper Shravan. Otherwise, I am very biased in listening. Mind goes here and there, distraction. I am practicing 10 things when I am doing Shravan of Shastra. So how Shastra will bless us? Because Shastra says you are so casual in listening. So there is not the essence what you will get. Smiling, Guruji says, not very, very, very difficult for people. Some people don't smile only. Balance in life, not very easy. And sense of humor. These are all what Guruji has given. Simple things in life, sense of humor, not very easy to practice. If I practice, how to practice sense of humor? Read books. How to be humorous in this life. And then people who are humorous actually are very good observers. They observe small, small things, and if you see stand-up comedy and all comedies, their observations are very good. Atma Buddhi Prasadajam. Why this is giving, why this will give us joy? Because the joy of self-control doesn't come instantly, but it comes after some time. Like John Abraham, recently I was overhearing interview. He was saying that he has never eaten sugar in his life. No alcohol. He's an actor, but so much of discipline he follows at body level to keep that six packs and keep the body healthy. The joy of self control, the joy of self discipline, it doesn't come instantly, it comes after some time. Following values, inner expansion, spiritual practices. What is the prasadam we get? Deep peace and tranquility, and this deep peace and tranquility is the sattvic sukham. We will understand this more when we discuss Rajasic and Tamasic. So, how to develop Sattvic Sukham? Swatmananda Swami gives various techniques, music, not the Rakshasi music. Once I had gone to Vijay Bhaiya's mother, at Shanmukhananda Hall, there was some program. After coming back, I asked her, how did you? It was all Rakshasi music, tam, doom, all this. Why do play? Sattvic music is classical, soothing, melody, all those things. Then nature, when we go to nature, we become sattvic because you can try this. Go to a place where there is lots of, forest area, go for a small walk. And then I can bet you that after 5, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, once all this family and job and business, one will start thinking about life. Because that's the reason Rishi Munis used to prefer nature. Eating healthy, develop sattvic, observing without judgment, focusing on Bhadram. This is very important. When we are looking at the world, we must only see auspiciousness, positive things in people, objects, and situation. We must not blame them, no complaints, no criticism, no pointing fingers and finding faults. Om Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyam. Two pointers are given by Bhagwan. Listen and talk and see also. I must always practice. This comes out of practice. I mentioned that I have met so many people, but one person I remember when this Bhadram comes is my friend whom I go for a walk. And morning we do exercise, is Chetan. Whatever comes, whatever happens, his interpretations are always Bhadram, auspicious. Naturally, by practice. What is the main point in this? For Sattvic Sukham, shift from world, body, mind, intellect to my nature, Satchitananda. The moment I remember, because Jnanam is already covered. What is the Sattvic Jnanam? In any interaction, I remember my nature is Atma, whose nature is Satchitananda. This, if I forget, I will not have Sattvic happiness. So constantly I have to practice to shift the attention from the world to the self. Attention from body, mind, intellect, what is happening at the body level, feeling level, thought level, to the self, that I am the self whose nature is pure existence, pure consciousness, infinite bliss. This is my real nature. And how it we don't know, but why should I say when I'm not? But this is how the practice happens. If I say it 1,000 times, it becomes truth. In meditation, what we do? Am Brahmasmi, Am Brahmasmi, Am Brahmasmi, Am Brahmasmi, I am that, I am that, I am that. Right now, I know that experiential level it is not there, but by saying, word will have its own power. Because first there is a word and then there is creation of it. What is living with sattvic happiness? When I open my eyes, there is service. This is one saint said. Somebody asked him, what is spirituality? You have been reading Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad and learning. When I open my eyes, I only see service. What can I do for others? And when I close my eyes, there is peace and joy. This is spirituality definition in a different way. Whereas suppose I ask myself, when I open my eyes, what I see, what I can get, which can give me happiness, what I can possess. And when I close my eyes, there are regrets, there are fears, there are imaginations, there are agitations. When I close my eyes, there are so many thoughts. So beautiful definition I like. When I open my eyes, I only see service with love. And when I close my eyes, there is absolute peace. World disappears. So when I shut my eyes, the world must disappear. Entire world means not only the world, my body, mind, intellect also. So what is Sattvic Sukham is always refreshing, rejoicing, recreating in the inner peace and quiet, joyous state, which is my real nature. Now when we learn this, we will appreciate this more when we learn Rajasic and Tamasic Sukham. What is Rajasic Sukham? Vishayendriya Sanyoga. So as we saw that contactless happiness is Sattvic Sukham and contacted happiness is Rajasic Sukham. Sattvic Sukham from Brahmananda experience, Rajasic Sukham comes from Vishayananda experience. There has to be a contact with the Vishaya, object. What will contact with the object? Senses. Sense organs comes in contact with the sense object. When that contact comes, that is generated is the Rajasic Sukham. So some people who are, in spirituality and this Chinmay mission and, other organizations and learn some scripture, they say, no, I am a spiritual person. I am a very spiritual person. And others are very materialistic. I am not a materialistic person. But the difference is very clear. Materialistic person seeks happiness from the material and spiritualistic person seeks happiness from the spirit. Spirit is the self, Atma. That is the only difference. Both seek happiness. But from where? That distinguishes between whether I am a spiritual person or a materialistic person. Tat Sukham Rajasik. That happiness is Rajasik. Which one? Vishaya Indriya Sanyogat. That which arises from the contact of sense organ with the sense object. And it calls for indulgence. More sense indulgence, more sense enjoyment. That's the reason I constantly want to see something, taste something, hear something. And once I get bored with seeing, tasting and hearing, I want to go to another place, another person, another life. Constantly from one life to another life, 84 lakhs lives we have lived, yonis. Because my belief is what? Only when there is a contact between the sense organ and sense object, there will be happiness. Guruji gives potato chips example. One chip, then it is not satisfied. Then second chip, third chip, fourth chip. Somebody has to shout, "Arey bas!" Sense gratification and sense indulgence. Instant happiness it gives. So it is not very easy to let go. But what are the problems? Bhagavan says, Bhagavan is going to say, Pariname Vishamiva. Initially it appears very nice, but Parinam, what is a Parinam of it? What is the result of it? It will be wish. It will be poison. Why? Because it gives temporary happiness. It will create dependency, dependent on sense organ. My health goes for a toss, but I keep eating. Depends on sense objects. I must acquire a lot of money, time, money, energy. Sometimes it is illegal. Sometimes I get bored. So I want more varieties and whole life goes into this. Sense object, sense organ. Sense object, sense organ. This is Rajasic. That's the reason these people get very easily bored. They just cannot sit quietly, close eyes and discover self-happiness which is coming from within, always available with us. And suppose we check this Rajasic happiness, actual contact time is very minimal. Like, just imagine 50 to 75 years back to make idli. How much effort is required to make idli and chutney and sambar? You can ask your mother and your grandmother. No, it takes 2 days to, put that idli and then grinding, no mixer, no fridge. So much of grinding for that. And then how much time it is required to eat? 10 minutes. I can eat 10 idlis in 10 minutes and go to office. So contact time is minimal. How much time the food is there on the tongue? How much time the image is there on the eyes? But for that, how much effort I have to take to go to Switzerland, take visa, go to Canada, see Niagara Fall and then come back. Vasanas are strengthened. We lose capacity to enjoy with health because it demands so many conditions to meet. My sense organ has to be strong. The object has to be, available. Then there has to be money. Then there has to be so many things. And I can enjoy that small thing for that small time. What is the cause? Bala, strength goes, virya goes, energy goes, rupa, pradnya, enjoyment slowly reduces if I keep doing it. And that's the reason people go for illegal means. Agre amrutatva upamam. So appears nectar in the beginning, feels good when the contact is happening, but later on it is pariname vishamiva. Bhagavan is declaring that this contact generated happiness is appearing very nice, but it is actually poison. Whereas sattvic happiness, initially it will appear as poison, difficult, but pariname it is amrutatvam. Later on, what happens after some people, like Swatmananda Swami was mentioning on this point that, suppose we ask a person who has worked for 40 years in an organization, tired, then bored, then, like, what do you call, energy nahi hai, agitated, guilty, restlessness, so many regrets, health issues, and what cost I have earned all these things. And now after certain age, people say, no, now I cannot, overcome this because now I've got used to it. Anyway, I'm going to die, so better enjoy. Simple thing I can practice, reduce screen time, but I've got used to it. What is tamasic happiness? Tat tamasam udharutam. This is tamasic happiness. Which one? Bhagavan is very fond of these 4, 5 things, constantly gives in tamasic. What is al nidra, sleep? Not mentioned as everyday need. No interest, no keenness. What is I'm bored, always feeling sleepy. Actually, suppose we analyze this nidra in an average span of 80 years, suppose a person lives for 80 years, suppose we sleep for 6 to 8 hours a day, we spend 2 lakhs 27,760 hours in sleep. That is approximately 12,045 days. That is approximately 26 years. So in 80 years, 26 years goes in sleep. And balance, breakfast, lunch, dinner, half of the time goes in making food and eating food. Just imagine how we are spending time. 26 years out of 80 years goes in sleep. Out of that balance, maybe 60 years, 30 years are going in eating only and preparing and thinking about food. And then earning will go balance. Where is Parame Brahmani Kopina Sakta Bhajagovindam says. Balastavat Krida Sakta, Tarunastavat Taruni Sakta, Vruddhastavat Chinta Sakta, Parame Brahmani Kopina. No time for timeless. So Nidra is one, Bhagavan says that become aware, that how much time you are sleeping and what you are doing. Get up and do some japa, meditation. That's the reason one of the name of Arjun is Gudakesha, master of sleep. Long hair also, but another meaning is master of sleep. Lakshman didn't sleep for 14 years. Alasya, second happiness what a tamasic person finds is in alasya, laziness. And their favorite story is what somebody yesterday only was telling. Favorite story. There is there in some book that, why are you doing? No, you will catch fish. No, what will happen? No, suppose that one person was, they are resting in the afternoon, one visitor came. Oh, you are resting in the afternoon, work. So you are saying, why to work? No, suppose you go to fish more. He was a fisherman, then you will catch more fish. Then what will happen? Then with that more fish, you can get more money. Then you can buy more ship. Then after having that more ship, then 5 ships you will have. Then 5 ships will go for shipping. Then what will happen? Then you can buy more ships, 10 ships. Then what will happen? Then you will have more money. Then what will happen? Then with more money, you will get best wife. Then what will happen? Then I will have bigger house. Then what will I do? Then you will have nice food to eat. Then what will happen? Then you can just relax. You say, I am doing that only. I am relaxing only. Why to do all those things for? So these people find happiness in laziness. No happiness in achievement. No activity. No, doesn't feel like doing my duty. Always bored. Incapacity to face problems. Judges incorrectly the world. Generally wants to run away from ups and downs of life. Driven more by impulses because laziness is the happiness for them. Maximum laziness. Third one, where I find happiness, tamasic person, pramada, heedlessness, carelessness in listening higher calls, in talking. I'm not bothered what I'm listening, I'm talking. One life is at spent somehow. Postponement. Every challenge demands our appropriate response. Tamasic person, first of all, judges incorrectly, is confused and will not respond to the situation correctly. And the next one is mohakaram. It is delusory in nature. It is not sukham, but I think it is sukham. Where there is no sukham, I will think there is sukham. In all the nishiddha karma, I will find sukham. So not coming from Atma, but from one's own ignorance. Lack in thinking. All addictions are tamasic. Mobile, talking, continuously being busy, because I don't want to be with myself. Bhagavan says, no, be with yourself, because only when you are with yourself, loneliness is perspiring, aloneness is inspiring. But I don't want to be with myself, my body, my breath, pratyahara, withdrawing the mind from the world, because somewhere I feel that being busy is the mode of life, and the tamasic person is exactly opposite. Addiction is that without which we think we cannot live or enjoy life. That is a thought process of a tamasic person. So we saw 7 topics, sattva, rajas, tamas, ended with sukham, and now once we are happy and happy frame of mind, Bhagavan is going to take the most controversial topic of Hinduism. Most controversial. Number one controversial topic of Hinduism is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Lot of confusion, lot of myth about it, and because it is interpreted differently, there are many people who are Hindus, criticize Hindus and doesn't come to spirituality because they think Brahmin means he is a Brahmin, he is a Shudra, he is a Vaishya, he is a Kshatriya. But now here we are going to see Bhagwan's interpretation that who is a Brahmin. And Bhagwan is going to give us these values and qualities. If this I am doing, I am a Brahmin. If this your qualities and values are there, you are a Kshatriya. So karma and varna, it is not by birth one becomes Brahmin or Shudra or Vaishya. It is by our karma and temperament. No, but Bhagwan only created all this distinction. Why? Bhagwan only said, I have created Chaturvarnam. So now we are going to see what is the meaning of this Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And see, after this, why this topic is coming, Bhagavan says everyone can have Sattvic Sukham if they follow their own path. Everyone can get liberated in wherever stage they are. And it is still prevailing. I have this conversation with many people who are not Brahmins. They will come and criticize Brahmins, and Brahmins will say something, and this is still going on. Till now, engineers and very highly educated people talk about this Chaturvarnyam. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.